What's up? What's up? What's going on? I got the official say bye to Brett. Throw the Deuces shirt on. Oh man, a lot happened in the past. I guess it's the last time we've been here.
Definitely
But
did.
I think I mean y'all, y'all do what y'all want here, but I think it's a good time to set the record straight. I know right when Brett got fired, right? Then when the whole Brett Brown firing went down, it was a mass influx of media and different personalities that really tried to yeah, that exactly. A lot of crocodile tears.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, it was a lot of good guys.
It was a lot of good guys. It was a lot of good guys rhetoric that went on. A lot of media, sports writers, especially the Philadelphia area, tried to come to his defense and start trying to shift the blame. See,
wait. It wasn't just honestly. It was more national than Philly because a lot of it was national.
It was, and that's what kind of got.
A couple Philly guys tried to, they was throwing
the players.
And they was throwing the GM in there too, Elton Brand.
Yeah, we definitely
got a lot of that.
They was trying to say clean house, get both of them out of here, but
yeah.
And that's what I think for all of us kind of motivated, at least the first portion, a small portion of this podcast.
Yeah.
Because the media, they got their agenda, they got their friends, they might be closely linked with Brett. He might have gave him tickets to a game. They may know him. You gotta remember the media and the coaches and the players, they work closely together a lot of times. So it's some, maybe intentional or unintentional agendas that take place.
It's intentional. That's just like, come on, you know what it is. Brett was nice. He gave us interviews. That's because he sucked. He stunk. And so he had to be nice. It's like the ugly chick. You got to be nice, try to catch somebody. Brett was the ugly chick.
That's facts.
That's politically correct. I'm sorry. Is that sexist?
Yeah, it's all of the above.
Well, the ugly dude. The ugly dude gotta be a nice dude. You know what I'm saying?
The podcast is officially over. Thank you, Wayne. He has ended the podcast. but to that point, this for me, this ain't to hate. It's not to hate. This is to set the record straight. All right.
I'm hating.
I mean, that's really what this is because I didn't like what I was hearing early on about the Brett Brown apologists. I started hearing people say stuff like, well, the players got to be accountable and this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
They start trying to shift the blame. I'm like, no. I'm like, wait. First, the first person normally held accountable is at the top, right? Let's start from the top and go down. And especially when we knew how bad the coaching was here. So I think there was a little bit of motivation for this. You know what I'm saying? And we going to, talk about that. But obviously, I think we was also going to talk about, who we want to see in here next. I got some articles that was sent to me about, somebody talking about Jay Wright and possibly Jason Kidd. So we're going to get into all that. We're going to get into all that too.
Yep. You're right.
But,
Start from the top.
First, let's go ahead, Tim. What you going to say?
No, go ahead.
Well, first, we're going to dissect this whole thing about Brett Brown. This my thing.
Mm-hmm.
You already know how I felt about the Dorsberg thing. That pissed me off. Or that ticked me off the first night. But then it's like, then you hear boys like Bruce Bowen, which I think Ephraim alluded to, where they like, oh, the players got to be accountable and blah, 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 blah. But guess what? Who holds the players accountable?
The coach.
I think didn't Jason Richardson say it? He was like, "There's no accountability on his team. That's the coach's job." Yeah. So how you going to rip the players for not being accountable for themselves when the coach isn't even holding them accountable? So you bypassing that whole thing. But we know what it is with Bruce Bowen. He's from the Spurs, and he got a little bit of ill will toward
Joel.
To be because
he tried to fight. He tried to fight B. Remember?
Remember that?
He tried to fight him.
Bobblehead. Like, out of here.
Listen, somebody should. I don't know what B was doing in there. Maybe he's trying to toughen Bede up. As a player, Bruce Bowen was, he was one of the great defenders in the league. So I don't know what went sour in that meeting. Man, he played here. He played here.
I know what went sour. You know what happened? First of all, Brett Brown was calling in the Spurs to give inspirational speeches to the Sixers when the Sixers was about to play the Spurs.
That was dope.
So he brings Bruce Bowen in there, and Bruce Bowen talking about certain stuff, and then Bruce Bowen says something along the lines of, "And we want to stay off social media." And so B like ho, like B took offense to it. You know what I'm saying? Like he I ain't necessarily saying he was wrong. I'm saying Bruce, what he was saying about B, but who are you to come in here and attack our star player? Like, bro, like go somewhere. Like you ain't even a star.
That's the thing.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
Yeah. I think that's what ticked Beat off. And they said, I mean, if I remember correctly, during that time, it was a number of players and people who came out to said the whole field was kind of awkward. Like it didn't feel right. I started coming and attacking Bede. They said it felt, and I think he kind of watered it down a little bit when he was on. I forget who show he was on, Mike or somebody, Mike Greenberg. He kind of I think it's Greenberg show, whatever. But he kind of watered it down. I think how it happened, because I remember a lot of people saying it got bizarre. Like he kind of started ranting a little bit. And it kind of went way left from what Brett Brown intended it, how it intended to go.
Once again, Brett Brown couldn't control something.
I agree.
What was you saying?
Let me tell y'all. I want to be specific because I wanted to be as like a character assassination with Brett Brown. I'm be specific.
That's okay if it could be that too. Go ahead.
Because everybody say he's a good man, he's a good dude, so I'm gonna leave his character intact. Okay. But what proved that he should have never been coaching the team when they started to win is his ability or his lack of ability to know that T.J. McConnell shouldn't be nowhere near a basketball court.
It's adjustments. He couldn't when one team. Just think about all the Celtics series. How many Celtics series did we lose in the playoffs? I know 2.
Yeah, we lost 2 of them. It was
2 of them. The first one.
Yeah, last year we didn't play the Celtics.
This year, I mean, and then the first
one we played the Celtics.
The first one and this year we played the Celtics. The last year we didn't.
Yeah.
Ethan, you muted yourself. Come on. Here we go.
Mute yourself.
Come on, bro.
I hit the mute button. This year was worse. This year was worse than last year, man.
He like when the old sisters at the hall that keep. Like,
last time it was the echo button. Now you mute yourself. Like, come on, bro.
But no, he averaged 6 points a game for his entire career. So that means he's not gotten any better. He's been a steady.
I think he averaging more for Indiana now.
No, I'm looking at his stats right now. He's averaging 6.1.
Is he still?
Yes, that's T.J. McConnell.
I remember that Celtics series. Wasn't it the Miami series before that?
Yeah.
When we got a little boost from what was the dude Anderson?
Justin Anderson. He came in with after Wade. Yep.
They gave us a little boost, and you ain't really see that. And he kept saying we needed athletes, and we had a couple of athletes on the bench that he could have threw in there to try to see what's going to happen.
But
Rashard Holmes got no burn that series. Rashard Holmes got no burn.
For me, that was the kill. That was a killer. But I think the worst thing that he did, and to me, was that trade, that 2018 trade of Mikal Bridges. That was the one that hurt us. And if y'all just want to go down memory lane. Let's see. Brett Brown.
Wait a minute. But as you do that, Tim, as you looking that stuff up, right? Go ahead. Matter of fact, go ahead. Put that up.
All right. So Brett Brown, just so as you can see, he said that he gave us a big story as far as why we traded. He said they had 2 players on that board. 1A was Mikal Bridges. 1B was Zaire Smith. They was pretty much even. He said they even brought Zaire Smith in twice. They brought him in for the second look, and they fell in love with him. So when they got this great deal from Phoenix, where they said, you know what, we're going to give you a first-round unprotected draft pick for 2021, and that 2021 pick is maybe when high school players will be able to play in the NBA, and we can use that as leverage, because what we're doing, we star hunting. That's what he said. We are star hunting.
So basically the Sixers got pimped again.
We got played and pimped.
But you know what? In their defense, maybe they thought they were getting Zaire Smith's mom. Because remember, she was the chick that had like the strong tracks.
Yo, but you know what? You know what got me mad about that start? See, this was See, and our comments.
No, you know what? Wait. Let's clarify this. We got to address this because there's so many people out there, and it's Philly media, and national media that I've seen that they sit here and they trying to talk all this stuff. Well, if you're getting rid of Brett, you need to start from the top. Get rid of Elton Brand. First of all, Elton Brand, as Elton Brand said recently, this was, and the Sixers organization, this was a collective thing whenever they chose people.
Yep.
But even with that being said, this year that we're talking about, Elton Brand was not the GM yet. Elton Brand did not become the GM until September of 2019.
Yep.
That's when Elton Brand became
What
GM.
else did he do? He signed what's the guy?
Muscala
Mike
and Wilson
Muscala.
Chandler. I remember specific. Muscala and he kept giving Muscala minutes.
Yeah. He was our bomber. He was.
And who was that? Who was the other dude that he loved? The garbage dude that we got, the old garbage dude that we got that was playing.
The European.
No.
The black dude, the garbage dude. What was
he was trash, but we used him as center when Embiid was out.
Yeah, he played with Toronto. Daggone it, I'm gonna have to research that boy name. It was getting by me, but I remember the bull.
Oh, but seriously, that was to me his trading somebody. He said, "I love Mikal Bridges. I love his mom. I love his coach. We know what the city of Villanova meant." And all he had just won a national championship with the team. But he said Zaire Smith. And can y'all tell me how many minutes he clocked in this year's playoffs?
You could probably add up his total minutes he played since he was a Sixer on both hands.
Was he in the bubble?
No, he didn't make the bubble.
He's not allowed. He's not allowed.
They shouldn't allow him in the gym.
Your game has to be a certain level in order to get in the bubble, and his game wasn't there.
And see, this is what, once again, is the motivation behind a lot of this, because Brett Brown made terrible moves that I think some people try to.
Amir Johnson, my fault. Amir Johnson. That's the bum dude that
I actually forgot about him.
I didn't. I forgot his name. I ain't forget about him. My fault. Go ahead, Ephraim. I had to find that joint's burning me up.
No, that's cool, but that's what a lot of people I think inadvertently attribute some of Brett Brown's missteps to Elton Brand, thinking that he was the GM and he wasn't. Yep. And then even when, let's keep this in mind, Elton Brand said something very powerful. Maybe somebody got the exact quote. I should have had it. But he said something very powerful after Brett Brown got fired. He said, now everything is like something about everything's on me. I have complete.
That's what
I like that too.
Earlier, because they said how it was the way the Sixers was running. Apparently, the way the Sixers was running, it was a collective.
You sound you got a little quieter, Wayne.
Mine did.
Is that me or?
It was like Chip. Remember, it was almost like the Chip Kelly in the
testing 1 2.
In the what's the other ball from the Eagles? Chip Kelly and the Harry Roseman thing.
Yeah.
Remember when Chip Kelly got control and he did all that crazy stuff?
Yep.
Am I good?
How's he sound to y'all? He sound a little quiet to me.
A little bit.
Maybe it's mine. I don't know.
Brett done sabotaged me.
He didn't.
No, but on the real though, all right. Dang, now you made me forget what I was talking about. This stupid. Hello.
No, you were saying about him when I said the comment about when the statement Elton Brand made about the collective agreement.
So what they were saying was they said that the Sixers, it was a collective. So it was like whenever they wanted to make a move, this is how they had been doing things. Whenever they wanted to make a move, you had Brett chipping in, and then they had like some guys in the front office, a lot of them that was from Jerry Colangelo. Like all these dudes would get together and they would chip in and say who they wanted to get or who they wanted to do, grab and everything else. So now Elton Brand is saying now everything is on him. So he's the GM. That means whoever he's grabbing his coach is on him. Whatever free agents we bring in is on him. And another thing, another reason why I want to give Brand a little bit of leeway is because remember the Sixers said do y'all remember why they said they brought Brand in to the Sixers organization as the GM?
No.
They said they brought him in because he can attract players, because he's a face that everybody trusts, a name that everybody knows. And that came to fruition when they brought in Trey Burke.
Yep. I was just about to mention this.
And he didn't get any burn.
And Trey
was
Burke said he came here specifically because Elton Brand called him.
Yeah.
That's almost like disrespect. That's
it-
almost like Brett doing disrespect out on Brand now. You get out here, you get a man, you get a nice player. He comes in for you, and you don't play him.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I'd have been
exactly
like, yo, I got this man here. He ready to play. He a good 6-man coming off the bench, and Brett can't find a role for him. Like,
oh, you gotta understand, Neto was available, and it's like either him or Neto.
don't say that no more.
My bad. But that was disrespectful because Neto couldn't play at all.
But that seemed disrespectful, from Brett. Is that just me?
No.
I do think it's disrespectful because and that's the other thing when they talk about like even that year that we talking about because for real, to me, that's what it goes back to when you talking about Brand. Because that year, the GM that started off was Brett Brown. And I think that's, the 2018 season, 2018, 2019?
Yeah.
So they was coming off the playoffs. You had Covington, you had Sarich, and it was like they just went against Boston. But remember in that year, the Sixers were struggling.
Yeah.
They brought Elton Brand in, and so they were struggling. So it was like, we need to make moves if we want to take it to the next level. Yep. So everybody that want to try to put it on Elton Brand, Elton Brand traded Covington, and he traded. So man, we was ripping Covington. Stop it.
Yeah.
Really was ripping Covington. Yep. So stop with the revisionist history where all of a sudden Covington was our savior. It was not that way, and it was ripping Sarich. And we got Jimmy out of that. Now, did Jimmy stay? No. But
and why didn't maybe we should address that too? Why didn't Jimmy stay with the Sixers?
See, and that right before I get on that, because that's a good point, Tim. Right before I get on, and I don't want to lose that thought. But the statement that Elton Brand made about kind of how they was collectively making these decisions, to me, in a sense, it kind of lets all these moves that people call into question to Elton Brand a little bit off the hook. Because we don't know how much say Brett Brown had in letting these people go or sign these people. Yep. As far as we know, Brett Brown could have been behind the scenes like, oh, we need Horford. Get Horford. Whatever you got to do, get Horford in here. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these moves that was made by.
I ain't gonna hold you. I think Horford was all on Brand.
I mean,
it could remember the Philly Max.
But you know what? But you know why I think Brett has something to do with that because it was always this. I don't want to say misconception because all of it was.
It was a misconception. And go ahead and say it because y'all had it, and I was calling it out back then. Say it.
It wasn't really a misconception.
It was. Say it.
It wasn't a misconception.
No, shut up. What? Say it.
Let me speak. Can I speak? Can I say what
I'm Let me just say what.
Say it. Say it. Say it.
Joel did get shut down when he played against him.
How was you getting shut down, scoring 23 points a game?
Got shut down.
No. For his career, he averaged 23 points a game against Horford, and that's including as a young bull when he was only averaging like 16.
But it was a hard 23.
It was a hard 23.
It was
you know why it was hard? Because the Celtics have an actual coach that coaches defense, and they would leak down and they would help Horford out. Horford wasn't just shutting them down.
They got length and athletic players too.
Now the boy that played for Toronto. He was shut.
Oh, he shuts Horford.
No,
I mean,
he shuts me down. He shuts him down.
He had 0 points one game, right?
Oh my God!
But what I will say about Horford did, even though he was height wise and size wise a mismatch, he did make it hard for B. B wasn't able to throw Horford around. Yes, he did. Wait don't want to. Let me talk. Let me talk.
No, because.
I agree with that too.
They traded all these people to get the money. Like they traded Markelle to get the money, so they freed up all this cap space.
We had
two. Like, we gotta go
sign.
Had
room for two max players.
And Horford was their worst big name player signing as of right now.
And I think they had the thought process. It was
wait. What's the ball that we got from Los Angeles? That center ball. What's his name?
Oh yeah.
With the bad knees. I think he might be our worst signing.
Oh, Andrew Bynum.
Yes.
Yeah. That wasn't a signing. That was a trade.
I think that was a trade. I think the Sixers mindset with that too a little bit was subtraction by addition, where they would subtract the Bull Horford from Boston and would add to us and kind of weaken Boston. I think that was a little bit of a mindset. But either way, the point being is you not positively sure how much of that was Elton Brand and how much of that was with Brett Brown. I guess that's my ultimate point, because they both had, it sounds like, equal say in all of these moves.
Well, let me ask y'all this. Did any of the, once Brand got there, the type of players that we got, or were they any different than the ones we signed before Brand got?
Heck yeah.
Yeah, they were. They were better.
Trey
They were
Burke.
better.
And listen, I know, and I really don't got a lot to stand on with Tobias, but you can't tell me Tobias Harris, right? Tobias, Jimmy, Trey Burke. These are dudes that Elton Brand, I know that he traded and brought them in.
I agree.
Because
I don't know about Tobias. I think Tobias is that's one of that's the type of player that Brett Brown like. He like real soft, docile.
Big man.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, Tobias was thought of to be. I mean, Tobias was balling that year. Everybody thought he should have made the playoffs. His shooting percentage from 3-point land was like 40%.
Yeah.
Listen,
you know what I'm saying?
Everybody balls before they get here. Look at Glenn Robinson the third. Look at
and they ball when they leave
Burke.
too.
That's my.
Go ahead, Ethan.
That's my knock. This is my knock on Brett. This is what I didn't like about Brett. Getting the best out of his players and actually teaching his players how to play ball.
There was no develop. He didn't develop nobody. I agree with that point.
He couldn't develop. Who did he develop? Robert Covens? Is that what you're going to try to tell me?
TJ,
he didn't even get the best out of Ben Simmons.
TJ McConnell.
To be a great 6-point a game scorer.
Who say TJ McConnell, Wayne?
Yeah.
That's my knock on Brett. Getting the best out of his players, man. But he's going to get the best out of Ben.
Right?
But that
with TJ, because who was the boy that I know y'all hyped up? I ain't gonna say y'all hyped up, but it was
TLC.
Not TLC, because I actually like TLC. I thought he had some potential to be a role player. But Ish Smith. Remember how Bulls was?
I like Ish Smith.
That's what I'm saying. Bulls killed Ish Smith. He trash. Ish Smith, blah, blah, blah. But they hyped TJ McConnell. He's scrappy.
I know.
Did you see TJ run around dribbling the ball for 20 seconds?
And remember when we played Detroit, Ish Smith gave TJ McConnell the business.
Yeah.
He gave him the best. I think he dropped like 21 on him and stuff. He was killing it.
Yeah.
But
I even like the boy Jeremiah Grant though.
Yeah.
But to Ethan point and the 10-point earlier, I guess to give specific details or specific accounts, Jimmy Butler left because of Brett Brown. That's facts. He said it pretty much. Remember, he said in an interview with the podcast with JJ Redick, I had a chance to watch it. At least I think it was like a good 10-minute clip I watched.
Yeah.
Where he specifically said when he went in that film session with Brett Brown, he said everybody was sitting there quiet. He said they went in there, sat down, and he thinking, okay, let's see what's this thing is all about. He said Brett Brown grabbed the clicker, click, nothing, didn't say nothing. All you heard was the clicker, everybody looking at each other in silence. As Brett Brown silently went through game film, click, said nothing, puts the clicker down, turns to the game film, and says, let's go practice. Jimmy said he looking around like, why? And I think he pulled JJ Redick to the side and said, why would I ever go back in there? This is when he first got there. But
you know what the funny part is, though, Ephraim? Is and this is the part that cracks me up about it, because even JJ, because that was JJ Redick's podcast. So even JJ, you could tell he was trying not to rip Brett, because and I'm not assassinating Brett's character, because I do think that maybe he is a really nice guy, because everybody says that. So as a person, he must really be a nice guy. But
I ain't never heard Markelle Fultz say that.
That's a point well taken.
And you never will.
And I remember that I actually remember even with Elton Brand trading
or Jonathan Simmons. Go ahead.
Even when Brand traded Fultz to that point, and I think we all had that discussion. To that point, they had to, because Fultz didn't want to be here no more.
He did.
And we remember that game. And you know what's ironic is I remember the game when we lost Fultz completely. And I'm not saying this to say, I don't want nobody listening to this to say, oh, they hyping Fultz up. They saying Fultz. No, but Fultz is a decent player. He's an NBA player. I don't care. He's not playing up to the #1 draft pick status, but he's a decent player. But that game against Orlando, Fultz was actually balling out. He had a decent game.
And Brett Borden didn't.
Brett Brown put because he was doing the same thing, pulling him in the second half and starting somebody else, starting JJ. But then it was at one point he was about to put Fultz back in the game, and he yanked him back and put TJ in. And I remember we all had that discussion. Was like he just lost that ball right there. But like you saw it in Fultz' face. Like, you know what? I ain't with this.
Very next day he said he went and he going to see a specialist.
Yeah.
The next day, 2 days later, right?
He did.
He ain't tell nobody. he just
Nope. He said, I don't even care about y'all, doctor. I'm gonna go see my specialist.
And it just goes back to the fact that the coach, there was something missing where he couldn't get the best out of his players. He didn't, and to me, I don't think he even tried that hard with folks, because I don't think that was his selection. I think it was the guy the OGM that got fired.
Colangelo.
It was his pick. And so
this is what I want to say on that. We would have never got Jason Tatum. I'm gonna say it again.
I agree.
We would have never got Jason Tatum.
Here's how we could have got Jason Tatum. We could have played.
We would have never got Jason Tatum.
We could have played Boston and said we're drafting Markelle Fultz and then took Tatum.
They would have never traded. Listen, it's something called a gentleman's agreement. It's something called,
it's called business.
I mean,
they knew who we wanted.
No, either you right, but I do agree with Tim. Listen, people done jerk the Sixers around all the time.
Didn't San Antonio do the same thing to us?
I'm going to just say this about Fultz, though. Before the shoulder injury, he was a baller. Whatever happened with the shoulder, I have no idea. He shoots completely different than he did in college, but
he does.
It is what it is.
And this Markelle Fultz point is going to segue in a couple other points, and kind of what Ethan touched on earlier, and we all been touching on it about how players seem to either regress or get better when they leave here and get worse when they come here. One thing that it seems apparent that players talk about not knowing a role, not knowing what their position is. I know when Markelle Fultz, and this is a quote from Markelle Fultz when he left to go to Orlando, and this is what, remember we talked about, I think it might have been the last podcast or maybe between us, we was talking about the mental psyche of an athlete and how that psyche, especially a young athlete like Markelle Fultz, has to be nurtured. Markelle got drafted. Remember, he was 19 years old when he got drafted at the Sixers.
Yeah.
But he said, I think the biggest thing, or what did he say? Right. Yeah, he says, I think the biggest thing we've talked about is doing stuff the right way. This is when he got to Orlando. He said, just building me up both as a man on the court, and I think that's music to my ears.
Yeah.
One thing that Brett Brown obviously wasn't doing, and you can see it, was he wasn't building and instilling confidence
in
your young player.
You're talking about a 19-year-old.
Yes. So that's everything to him.
Yeah, that's the NBA though, and that irks me about the NBA, because they'll sit up here, you drafting these kids, and then you be they're so quick to bail them. Oh, he's a bust.
You can't be. See, that's what I don't agree either way. You draft on potential, so you gotta see the kid's potential before you bail on them.
Yeah,
I don't want to spend too much time on this thing, but yeah,
I mean,
we bailed way too early.
But
you listen, you don't.
We bailed way too early on the kid.
A couple other players who had that same point as far as they didn't know their role. Right. Once they got on the team, it wasn't just Markelle Fultz. We also
Al Horford said it.
Al Horford said it this year. Also, it was Glenn Robinson III. He said the exact same thing.
At one point, said that.
You got a coach. You had a coach who created an atmosphere where once the players got there, because they were having career years.
Jimmy Butler said it.
They're free agents, so they was looking to cash in the off season. And then they get under Brett Brown and everything.
You talking about Burks and Robinson, right?
Burks and Robinson, yeah. They both free agents this year.
Yep.
So they're going to go into free agency. One got injured and couldn't even play, and the other one, and he balled when he had the opportunity. But that's without being coached.
I think Robinson has potential. I like Robinson.
I like Robinson too. I'm telling y'all, that's why the next coach that we get in here, and I think we're about to talk about that in a second, the next coach we get in here is going to have to be a dude. I think coaches who really played the NBA game more often than not are more in tune with the players, all right, and with the psyche of players. I mean, even coaches in any sport, if you've been around a game for a certain amount of a point in time, or you played the game, you understand the whole from college to the NBA or to the NFL, and now you got to prove yourself. If you ever watch them 30, not 30 for 30s, but like the NFL, My Life, what's the one they got, the NFL stories and all that kind of stuff, and the NBA stories about people. The one thing I always hear asked and the players describe is the moment they knew they belonged.
Right.
That though takes a coach to rock with you even when you're not playing well. Because most of them come in, they might have had a bad game, they struggle, and then they say, I had it, the coach stuck with me or whoever stuck with me, and I made this play. And once I made that play or this game, I had a good game, I knew I belonged here. Markelle never got that opportunity. Every time he would went the ball out, he Brown was yanking him out the lineup. And other players as well. TLC, we talked about him. We did the same thing with him. Obviously, when he got Burks in here, Burks knew he could play, but now Burks is kind of like, what in the world is going on? I came here to ball, but then you got TJ running out the lineup. You got Court Myers running out the lineup. I ain't getting no ball. Like, this is the stuff that, to me, it crescendo with why this dude had to lose his job.
Yeah.
So, go ahead, Tim. My fault. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to wrap it up real quick. As far as Brett Brown is concerned, main reason why he's not here, he shouldn't be here and should never coach again, in my opinion. He didn't hold players accountable, which players said this year. Ben and B in the 4 years he had them never got any better. The way they were, how they were when he started is how they finished. Jimmy Butler clearly did not appreciate anything he did as far as X's and O's, the type of defense that he ran. Couldn't understand it. And then the players, everybody that was traded to us, role was never defined by him. So right there, that just wraps up Brett Brown.
Real quick though, because you made a good point, like you said about
Wait, why you leaning off of your camera like you about to rumble somebody? You about to swing? You like he leaning on.
My man Chadwick, rest in peace. But listen,
that was sad.
No. Listen, the point you made about like even with Embiid, you talking about players getting better. The funny part is Embiid got better while he was injured. That's when he was shooting around and learning stuff like that. He ain't get better when he was on the court under Brett tutelage.
That's true.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right,
so it's a lot of not free agents, but it's a lot of available coaching spots right now. So Brett Brown is not Brett Brown, but Elton Brand is on the clock right now. He has to make a decision pretty fast. He can't wait and take his time because just this week, Indiana job became available. Then you got several jobs right within the East. So let me ask y'all, who do y'all think we should go after right now? Who's your number one? If you have to pick up your number one, who's your number one?
I don't think he got a rush. Be honest with you.
I got a good point, Ethan.
I think he has to rush. You can't sit around, then you're gonna get left with nothing.
No, you first of all, rushing, you never rushing anything. Rushing is you make a bad decision. Let's stop that now. You want to get the best coach for this team.
Okay, so what do you suggest? So you're gonna sit there and say, take your time. Meanwhile, all of the coaches is gone off the board.
Ain't all coaches is gone. It's still gonna be coaches available.
Because listen,
the coaches you might think belong here are gone, but that don't mean they're gonna win.
How many good coaches are in the NBA then?
They can't sign the coaches until they're finishing the playoffs.
You can agree. We lost our coach, one of our assistant coaches last year while we were in the playoffs.
That's true.
But we couldn't. But we wasn't gonna make it. We wasn't gonna make
it. I said should have been coaching the Sixers this year.
They wasn't gonna make him the head coach though.
No, they was.
I think they was.
In place to be the head coach until they said they was bringing Brett.
I think they was. I think
we would have went out early before we went and won that game. Then we would have been able to sign him right then and there because Brett would have been fired.
I agree. My thing is, I don't think if we bring in a new coach within the next week, I don't think it was rushed. I honestly think Elton Brand knew months ago. At least a month ago that he was going to have to get this.
If he got any brains, he did.
Exactly. That this search was going to have to happen sooner than later. So when we started getting swept and it was going down, he should have known what the deal was. His ears should have already been to the street, if you will. So, yeah. I mean, even if
I agree with that. I agree because he was on a bubble. He was actually, because he was in a bubble last year, Elton Brand and the owner probably was like, listen, you better start thinking about this now because if we lose in the first round. So I agree with that point. I didn't really think about that, but I agree with that.
Yeah.
So like I said, who do y'all want? Who y'all want in here? Give me a name.
My first preference is Jason Kidd. And that's who and it's funny though because I think today it came out that Jason Kidd. It didn't even say the Sixers was expressing interest. It said Jason Kidd was expressing interest.
I read that.
In the Sixers.
They say he wants the job.
That's what I'm saying. To me, Jason Kidd is looking at because I'm looking at Ben Simmons, right? Jason Kidd couldn't shoot. He developed himself into a better shooter as the years went on. Jason Kidd was the dude.
Don't do it, Ethan.
Jason Kidd was a dude that played defense.
Couldn't shoot and don't shoot is different.
Yeah.
But this I agree with you, Ethan. But my thing is, to me, if you look at Jason Kidd, if I'm Jason Kidd and I'm coming to Elton Brand, it's like, listen, bro, I couldn't shoot either. You know what I'm saying? It was a struggle for me too. This is what I did.
My only argument is,
comfortable. Go ahead.
I don't know if Ben's I guess if he starts shooting, he could be a point guard in the league.
Ben is a point guard regardless to me.
Ben is a point guard. I think he distributes well. His passing game is nice. His vision is there. He got all the qualities to be a point guard except the jump shot. So if he starts shooting, I think you waste him if you put him in as a power forward or something like that.
John Lucas was a point guard too.
John Lucas.
I mean, what's the boy name?
If you don't stop trying to get this old drunk dude back up in here,
John
Lucas when he was the Sixers coach.
He was a point guard too.
Ethan met John Lucas when he was like 16 and changed.
Yeah, we met him. That's probably why I'm
forgot about it.
John Lucas said hi to me.
That's probably why I'm a little, you know, I lean on that side a little bit.
He called you champ, and since then you.
I remember. Listen, Tim, you was there.
Like,
listen, we went to the basketball court to play. Matter of fact, this was a basketball court.
Hey, young bull.
His hair.
Hey, young bull. Keep it up,
The basketball court was never at. And we was like, yo, who you drafting? And he was like, Jerry Stackhouse. And we was like,
do he even want to coach?
Yeah, he want to coach here.
John Lucas.
He
Yes.
I'm not mad at John Lucas. I'm just not knocking the door down for John.
The only problem is
first choice.
he's doing what Brett did before we drafted Brett. He's a player development coach.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, just because Brett didn't work, I'm not going to trash everybody.
Brett has soured me on anything that Brett did. I want nobody that had any parts to anything that Brett did.
Yeah. No.
But I'll say this: I like Jason Kidd. I mean, I think everybody number one, and I don't know. I don't think he's ever going to coach again. It's Mark Jackson. Everybody loved Mark Jackson. His commentary is on point. I think we know the job he did in Golden State and even getting them players and then building them up to the next level until Kerr came in, because I think him and management had a disagreement, whatever, how the coach team should be coached, blah, 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 whatever. I don't think Mark Jackson coming back to the coaching ranks.
It wasn't even about him saying about the teams could be coached. It wasn't about that. It was about his principles. A lot of it was about his principles as a person.
He's a religious man, and
he's a religious man, and
the owners of
about certain stuff.
Oh, okay.
And the owners of Golden State didn't particularly care for that. So, and then they had a snitch. Remember, they had to snitch on the squad. The dude from Boston was snitching on Mark Jackson.
Wait, who you talking about?
Gosh, 6'9" was playing? No,
Yeah.
He was dressed in a Boston.
What's his name? He had like redhead, like from Boston, and tall boy. I can't.
Birdman? He wasn't
No.
on that, was he?
Boston. I'm not gonna think of.
Oh!
You talking about Scalabrine? You talking about Scalabrine?
Yeah, Scalabrine.
The boy that stole chips. The boy that stole championship rings because he was just on the bench like a cheerleader.
Yeah.
Ring.
He was the inside snitch on the bench, going back saying everything that was Mark Jackson was saying.
Really?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
So I don't think. I mean, so with that being the case, I don't think he's going to coach again. But I do like. I mean, obviously, y'all made some good points. We talked about Jay Wright. Matter of fact, I guess we could talk about that on here.
I was about to bring that up.
That's your guy?
No, you know my guys. I told you.
I thought it was my guy.
Who you got?
Don Lucas.
Oh, yeah, you did say that.
Sometimes the second go round is better, man, because you learn a lot. That's my only thing. You learn a lot from your coaching.
So what you want? So what, Cheeks?
This gonna be Jay Kidd second go around, right? So y'all think he can? If you think Jay Kidd can do better his second go around, why can't
he had the Bucks at winning team though?
That's what I'm saying.
Man, the Bucks did better when he left.
You know what I said? No, did they?
Yeah, got better.
What did they win?
They won the best record in the East. They was like in the 8th seed when he got fired.
That ain't New York got no ring for that.
They elevated themselves because Greek Freak got better.
Giannis did get better.
It wasn't because of nothing that next.
And they started playing better defense too with the new coach.
Now, if you want to tell me Nick Nurse, I could give you Nick Nurse for Toronto where he took them and he helped them win.
They got rid of Casey.
Yeah, but Jason Kidd, when they got rid of Jason Kidd, they didn't go to no elevated level.
Yeah,
Jason
they did. They became a better team.
They did become a better team.
But they got rid of they got rid of that injured boy. What's his name? The dude that we got instead of that we was going to draft if Embiid wasn't injured.
All right, let me ask you this, right? Let me ask you this.
I forget his name.
With a Sixers coach, I think any Sixers coach that come coach this team cannot do worse than Brett Brown. They're either gonna do the same.
I don't listen. Hold
I
on.
agree with
Is there some wood around?
Because you have the talent. That's
agree
my only thing about Milwaukee. They got better. They had the talent, and Jason Kidd didn't have that talent.
Don't say that. Don't you put that? What they say? Don't you put that evil on me?
I'm just saying.
Don't say that,
man.
You saying that? Then we mess around and get a boy here. I'm like, what the heck?
He can't do worse. We got the talent.
Nobody can do worse than Brett Brown.
No, Brett Brown was not coaching when we won 50 games.
Brett Brown was not a coach.
I agree with you.
He was a good guy.
He was a good guy.
Like what? Trade away B?
Yeah. Well, see, first of all, the coach ain't gonna have that power now because Elton Brand said.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Listen, we're gonna win 50 games regardless. It's all about what this coach do in the playoffs, man. It's all about adjustments he made. Regular season is really, it's not a whole lot of extra coaching in regular season. All the coaching really happens in the playoffs when you start game planning for teams. You don't do that in the regular season.
That 7-game series, that's true.
Yeah, so that's when we're gonna be able to tell if this dude can coach or not.
So you really want to go with John Lucas? I didn't even know his name.
Nah, I'm just throwing that out there. He did throw his name in the hat. He did throw his hat in the.
Yeah, I'm telling y'all who I like. I kind of like the boy Tim Legler.
Probably running low on the bar tab.
I would go with the boy Tim Legler.
Tim Legler is equal to bringing in Chip Kelly. I don't want no Tim Legler.
Nah, I don't agree with. But Tim,
I would put him on the bench as a lead assistant or something.
You do that.
Tim Legler say he want to coach, or you just throwing his name out there?
He wants to coach.
How you know?
You talk to him?
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
We had a meeting with the Tims. All the Tims got together.
Some that searching people like Tim.
Yeah, no, I think I heard him on the radio, and he coaches like little league and stuff. He got his own little. All right, I'm not making a strong argument right now, and I don't care.
See, Tim cracked me up. Tim cracked me up, and see, I'm gonna let y'all into some of our private conversations.
Did he say little league? Is it even a such thing as little league basketball? He coached in LeVar Ball league. He coached in LeVar Ball joint. But you know what? See, Tim funny because when I brought up Jay Wright, Tim went in on Jay Wright.
Yo, let me. Here you go.
Remember that? Tim went in on Jay Wright when I mentioned Jay Wright. Tim was like, well, I don't got no coaching experience or blah, blah, blah. You destroyed my whole thought process of Jay Wright, and you had a lot of good points. So you can't hate on Jay Wright and then love Legler. It don't work like that.
Tim Legler played in the league.
I'm hot.
I found a list of 10 candidates for the Sixers. Y'all
right,
hear?
Run them down.
Go ahead. Is Legler on here?
No.
Y'all gonna hate on him. He's gonna come around like 2-3 years.
No, listen, Tim. I do like Legler. I think Legler is very educated as a basketball player.
Here's number one. Do y'all know who that is?
He on our bench right now.
That's what I was talking about.
I don't want nobody.
He says he has an impressive. I know he's on our bench. I just want to know if y'all know. He's an impressive resume.
No, next.
He spent time playing over. Skip.
What's
Okay.
What's his name again?
I don't even want to do that to my brother.
Don't jack his name up.
I'm not.
Run his resume down.
He spent time playing overseas, and in the NBA with the Lakers, Knicks, Blazers, Spurs, and Kings. Udoka wanted to continue.
Yeah. Elton Brand is enough, Duke.
No,
Popovich. They said Greg Popovich convinced him to retire and join the Spurs coaching staff. He was there since 2012.
Right.
He became Popovich's top assistant.
I want no more San
He
Antonio.
only joined the Sixers. Listen, he only been here 1 year.
So you
19 to 20.
Popovich told him, "You so trash as a player.
You need to retire."
Yeah.
Coach.
That's exactly what he said.
Yo, they got Stan Van Gundy on here.
I like that name.
That's Wayne Man.
You know why I like Stan though? This is my reason for Stan. First of all, Stan took the last team that was led by a true center, like the way a center plays, which was Dwight Howard. He took them to the finals.
Yeah.
So to me, if you're building your team around Embiid and a big man,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? To me, he knows how to get. And we look at Dwight Howard now, and everybody look at Dwight Howard like this dude, the clown. But he took Dwight Howard and Jameer Nelson and took that team to the finals.
Didn't he take Shaq to the finals too?
Listen, listen to this. Listen to this about Stan Van Gundy, Wayne, what I didn't know.
Go ahead.
Van Gundy, his stint in Detroit as the president of basketball operations and head coach, where he convinced Tobias Harris to develop his three-point shot.
That you mean the one that wasn't working all playoffs?
Listen, Stan Van Gundy got him and Brett Brown took it away.
Tobias was shooting 40% from threes till he came into Brett Brown's crew.
Brett Brown put the young mean on him and took his game away like he do everybody else.
I ain't gonna hold you. I like Kid. I might like Van Gundy better.
I wouldn't be opposed to Van Gundy, even though he was auditioning last week during a
telecast. He really was. He was.
I'm skipping this next name. I don't even want him here.
No, go ahead. I want to hear it. Who's
that?
Mike D'Antoni.
Oh,
no.
He
was on Brett bench earlier.
He the most overhyped coach. He's Chip Kelly.
We had him here.
He like Jeff Fisher. You know how Jeff Fisher was always overhyped when he coached the Titans?
No, he was in New York. He was in New York.
Everybody thought Jeff Fisher was the man, and today he got exposed when he finally went to where he go to the Rams, and he couldn't get nothing out of the Rams.
Oh, yeah.
Fired. That's who D'Antoni is.
He was never able to get fired. He was like in the league for like 20 years with the same.
Also, all hype.
D'Antoni is Chip Kelly. He has a gimmick system, and it works in a regular season. Phoenix, all them years they hyping Steve Nash MVP twice.
But they did that one year they did get played when the Bulls Stoudemire got
hurt. And D'Antoni with Houston now?
Yeah, and he was Houston.
That's why I don't want him.
And they put up regular season numbers.
But they saying he gonna get
the playoffs.
They saying he gonna get fired down
below. He was with us. Y'all remember when he was with us?
Yeah, I remember when he was with the Knicks and they sucked.
Yep.
Y'all know about Jay Wright. We talked about him.
I like Jay Wright, but I just don't think Jay Wright.
Jay Wright's not gonna.
Jay Wright would be out of his mind to leave his Villanova.
They said the question is, does Wright want to take an NBA job?
The question is, why would we want Jay Wright?
No, go ahead. No, I gotta hear it. Go ahead, Tim. Why do we want Jay Wright?
Because college, there's not a lot of success with college coaches transitioning to the NBA.
I can't argue with that.
Okay.
Right.
You know what I forgot about Jason Kidd?
Wait. Okay. Hold on 1 second. So why you? So did Legler ever coach at college or NBA?
He played in the NBA.
Okay.
There's a lot of success of players who played in the NBA to become head coaches.
He has no coaching experience at all, right? Zero.
That's my point. He has no I see what Tim's saying about leagues. When he talked basketball on ESPN, he's very knowledgeable. He says all the right stuff.
Talking about as a general manager. See, to me, as a general manager, that's like with the no, I ain't firing Helton. I got to give Helton a chance. But that's just like with the cross with football. Who did the Raiders hire as the Mike Mayock? The guy that's like he has like football insights to say he's general manager because
Reggie Scott. It's a shout out.
What'd you say?
I was shouting out Reggie Scott.
He don't ever shout out Reggie Scott.
No, he blow Mike. He blow that Mike Mayock crap up.
He does.
Mike Mayock.
I can't wait till they stink next year.
Oh, they will.
But you can get, to me, as a coach, X and O's guy, it's a little bit different. But as a general manager and understanding talent and bringing guys up and bringing guys in, I could see that.
Look what the 49ers did with John Lynch. He made them into like a dynamite squad the last couple of years.
That's true. So maybe bring him on as a scout.
Yeah. Nah, I would do that.
For player development.
No, I'm down with that.
You got John Lucas for that.
John Lucas, Brett Brown.
Who else on there?
Yeah.
You know, you got Jason Kidd. I forgot Jason Kidd was actually traded to the Milwaukee Bucks from the Nets as a coach.
I forgot about that too. You right?
I forgot. Was that the first time that ever happened?
It was rare. I don't know if it was the first.
Doc Rivers got traded too, didn't he?
Did he?
Yeah, Doc
Rivers.
They got They traded him to the Clippers.
I'm gonna throw a name out here. Y'all probably ain't hear, but let me go through the list.
Go ahead.
2 names y'all might not have heard. Tyrone Lue, y'all heard that. We all talked about Lue.
I wouldn't mind, but I went with Tim Legler on his staff. Go ahead.
The coach for who's he coaching now? The Kings, Dave Joger.
The fact that you got to show us his picture.
Yeah, that says a lot.
They said he coached for Milwaukee. Hold on, he coached for Memphis. He went 147-99.
Oh,
That's not bad. That's actually pretty good.
He's young. He's 46.
Prodigy.
Listen, I can't even hate on it. This what I'm saying.
He's done well with coaching big defensive-minded teams.
To me, Elton Brand, this Elton Brand is on the clock. I said it before. If you're getting to make the calls, like whoever he picks as the coach, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I am too.
Unless he picks some whack dude, and I'm like, because even Tyronn Lue, at first I was like, I don't want Tyronn Lue. We know Brown was the coach of that team, but somebody made a good point to me. They were saying how it might have been my boy Bob. He said he managed the personalities he managed. You had Kyrie and you had Brian. So in order to manage Kyrie, because we know how Kyrie is a head case and whatever else, but he managed them to win a championship. And to me, that's a big part of coaching. That's why Phil Jackson, to me, is one of the greatest coaches ever. If he's in the top 2 or 3 to me. I think everybody always say, "Oh, he had the talent," but he came in and he grabbed the Lakers when they had Kobe and Shaq and all that. For real, for the Lakers team before Kobe and Shaq and all them other dudes, when they had Eddie Jones and Nick Van Exel and some of these other dudes, they actually had a better team, but they had good coaching.
Sixers' mistakes started with.
I think Tim made that point, so we ain't giving your bull Bob no props for making that point. I think Tim made No, I'm playing. No.
I agree.
Listen, support those that support us.
No, I'm playing. He probably did. I mean, that's a good thought, though. That's a good thought. That's why I'm cool with the Tyrone Lue signing too. But my fault, Ethan. I think you were saying something. My bad.
Yeah, no, I'm good with whoever they bring in here. I give anybody a shot.
Right.
The Sixers fail when you take a coach for a rebuilding process and think he's going to take it to a chip. That never happened. Every coach that was put to rebuild, you fire him after that rebuild and
that's
get somebody else to take him to the top.
Y'all see the glow
because I was being more empathetic, like, yo, we gotta give him a shot.
That's not what you do. That's not what you do. That has never worked in the league.
Years ago, you do not. That dude is never the dude that take you to the next level.
I have to give Wayne his Negro Damas props of the day for that, because he was saying that for like 3 years, and maybe looking at that, I ain't go. It's been a while. I think I remember 3, but I'll give you an extra 2.
No, it's 5. I was saying that before the Sixers even got good.
So the consensus, we all say Tim Legler #1, and then
they got Jeff Van Gundy on the list too.
I'm gonna go.
I actually like Jeff Van Gundy.
Yeah, Jeff was my man.
I like Stan better, but I like Jeff
Stan better too.
I would go with Mark Jackson, Tyrone Lue, or Stan Van Gundy. Those 3 are like the top of my list.
Both, the only thing about, I don't know about Jeff, but I know. Hold up, which Stan is the heavier one, right?
Yeah. Stan is the one that was with Orlando.
The only thing about Stan, and I don't know, I know it was a lot that happened in that process. But remember, he at one point he pretty much lost that team, Orlando. Remember him and Dwight Howard had this huge friction when Dwight came in mid-interview and kind of disrespected the bull or something like that. I don't know if that was contractual stuff. I can't remember.
What has Dwight Howard done since then?
No, I'm not even. I agree with that, but I think it wasn't even just a Dwight thing. It kind of crescendoed to where he kind of lost the team. So I mean, maybe I gotta read up on it more because I kind of, I just remember it kind of happening, but I wasn't.
Also, I remember he got played in Miami. He had Miami. Pat Riley saw that squad where he had D Wade and Shaq, and he was like, you know what? I'm gonna take over this joint. Let me do this.
Yeah, he did.
Stan Van Gundy actually still had them balling too.
He actually had Dwight playing his best basketball.
He did.
Into the white one to live alternative lifestyles, so dyeing his hair and all this other crazy stuff. We had our red dye.
Wait, when he had the torn butt cheeks or whatever he had.
The white started tripping. The white started tripping. But which McCall got him balling now though? I give him. I actually think
got him balling.
shout out to LeBron.
Wait.
Balling.
Got him balling. He's coming off the bench. And
Yeah, that's not.
role player.
I mean,
we use that word balling too loosely.
You were a little bit loose, and I was also co-signing, so my bad.
Balling. He balling.
Gundy had him as a top-notch center.
He did. That okay? So Van Gundy's our guy, then y'all right. Van Gundy, our guy.
Van Gundy, you're a kid for me. Who you got? Ethan. You said
John Lucas and
John Lucas is his guy.
Is John Lucas your final answer?
Yep.
I don't know. I'm still up in the air. I actually do want a former point guard. I would like a former point guard because I think Sixers' success really depends on Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
So in order to be successful, I think we gotta open the head. We need a coach that can get in the head that is of Ben Simmons.
I agree.
Can it happen? Is it possible to crack the code of Ben Simmons? Is that possible?
I do. I think it is. And this is another point that I had against Brett, because I think Brett doesn't motivate anybody to me. And
I agree with that.
I know a lot of people think, because people been hearing me rip Brett for years, this and another. But like I'll say, like I've always said about Brett Brown, and I ask everybody every time, what did Brett Brown do well? And the first thing they always say is, he has a nice personality. That's what you say about the ugly chick or the ugly dude. They have a nice personality. You will enjoy them. I don't want the nice personality. I want the dom.
You know what's funny?
I want the dom coach.
You know what's funny, man? When Josh Richardson said that, he said something that was so funny to me, because I remember years ago, right? It was my man. I was asking my man what somebody. I think he said his brother was dating somebody, whatever. And you come to ask a question. Well, how she look? She nice looking? And he said she means well. That's what he said. And that stuck in my mind, because that's what Josh Richardson said about Brett. Remember, he said, well, he means well. And I fell out laughing, because I said, that's what you say when you really don't have nothing.
But wait. He was describing.
He was describing her as she means well. That was one of the funniest things I heard when you describe somebody's look.
That just sounds like none of the players had a lot of respect for Brett.
Yeah.
As a basketball savant.
Yeah. So it was like, you know how you go to the court and you just get 5 people to run with you, and then you play, and that's how the Sixers were. They just got 5 people to run with them up and down the court, while the other team got uniforms. They've been playing with each other for like the last 2-3 years being coached.
You know how you go to the court and you got to pick the ball up because he your homie, but you know he trash. Mm-hmm. That's your homie, and you ride out with him like, I gotta pick. Like when Tim used to get run.
Because he running the joint out because it was his gym, so you had to put Tim on the court.
Yo, that's hate.
Only time Tim got to run is when he had winners.
See, I was being nice. I was like, I'm not gonna call none of y'all out, because I was like, that was the same example I was gonna use. I was like, Ethan can't run at all.
Remember me? When they shoot for 2, as soon as the 2 make it, Tim will be like, I got winners. You knew you.
Y'all hate it. All right, we gonna move right along.
Oh, I think I'm Rona right now. I can't stop coughing.
So the NBA resumed this week. So who benefits most from the time off? Because everybody had like an extra pretty much 4 days off. So right now you got Dallas. They're not Dallas. Who's playing the Lakers?
Houston benefit too, because you got Westbrook back for this game, right?
Yeah, I saw Westbrook was getting healthy.
Yeah, what's the score at?
It's over. 80 to 114.
Who won?
OKC got blown out the water.
Yeah, because Westbrook, like that, Ethan just made the point.
Now the Clippers.
Westbrook.
The Clippers.
The Clippers gonna get they gonna get the bull Wishman call back.
Porzingis is out.
Westbrook only has 7 points. He was
It matter.
3 for 13.
It don't matter because sometimes you get a ball in there and it sparks certain stuff up and it opens other people up. Because now you got the other team so worried about him and not letting him rip and run, you might open stuff up for other people.
Guess who was balling, Wayne? Your ball.
Who?
Covington. 6 for 11 from 3, 22 points.
Nice.
Yeah, because they was worried about letting Westbrook get into the lane. I ain't watched the game though, so I don't know. But to me, what it sounds like, you worried about you can't let Westbrook get into the lane. So if you stopping him from getting in there, now Covington gets open shots that he wasn't getting before.
That's facts. Tim, I think is Patrick Beverly gonna be back after the layoff? He might come back for the Clippers. You got Porzingis who might come back for Dallas. I know he would.
No, he getting surgery.
Porzingis is done.
Oh, he done.
But Wayne Boy,
but Luca got a rest.
Wayne Boy and Luca, he'll be healthy with a healthy ankle.
Let's talk. We gotta talk about that because Wayne fell into the hype when everybody Luca. So
he absolutely did.
Is this more hype? I mean, I'm not saying he's not.
No, it's not hype. First of all, y'all
Wayne
act like
anointed
the boy ain't stepped on his ankle in the game.
He tried to take the
boy tried to take his ankle out.
This was the anointing oil, and Wayne was like, "This one will go ahead." You anointed him.
You anointed him. It took Wayne 7 years to give Bron props.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did. It took LeBron 2 chips for you to give him his props.
No, it didn't.
Now, something 1 game winner.
Listen,
you see the purple flower he gave like they did to T'Challa.
Let me ask you this, right?
That's how he did.
You saying about giving Bron props. What have I always said about Bron? Even when I was saying what was my main knock on Bron?
He was trash.
No, it wasn't. Stop.
He passed too much.
My knock on Bron was when the moment got big, he choked. And I also used to say, to me, Bron has the potential to be the greatest player to ever played.
I don't remember the second part, but go ahead.
How when the moment got big, he choked? Didn't he have a game winner?
I remember the second part.
Don't lie. Don't make me go back.
Don't make him force you to.
Don't make me screenshot. I will screenshot. You know what, Ethan? Open up that group we had, the group me chat that you closed down. Go back to the archives and open that up because I'm going group.
I wish I could open it up. Can you go back to the archives and open it?
Yeah, go to the archives and groups that you've left or you've been in and see if you can open that up. Because I always said about Bron.
That group me like 10 years old.
I don't care.
You got some work.
I said back then, and what I always said about Bron was, Bron has the skill set of a guard in the body of Karl Malone. He has the potential to be the greatest player ever played. But to me, he deferred too much early on, and that's what I would rip him for. But even when I would rip him, I always said to me, he has the potential to be better than Mike.
All right,
but Luca only had 1 year. He impressed you that much in 1 year when LeBron took 7
years.
First of all,
and Luca can't get past the first round of playoffs.
It's 2 years for Luca yet, and he's not out the first round yet.
That's what I'm talking about.
I guess the question is it legitimate that they heaping a little too much praise on him early?
They might be, but see, for me, I was ripping. I thought Luca was trash. Like with LeBron, I never was saying Bron garbage. He overhyped. He trash. That's not what I was saying about Bron. To me, I was saying
I agree.
What I was saying about Bron was, to me, he's not being that next level. And in hindsight, Bron was a young bull. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we forget bulls as young bulls, and they got to grow into it. So I was ripping Bron out of high school.
Like the bull nigga Wright from ESPN, he was on there giving commentary. He was like, when you write the story of the NBA in 15 years, you can't write it without Luca. Like this,
he gassing.
He definitely getting too high.
What did Luca do yet? For you to write a story without, what did he do?
Nothing. He like most garbage balls, they would get a game.
He balling. Don't get me. Listen, don't get me wrong.
Garbage. Don't claim garbage.
I'm not gonna say garbage. I won't say garbage.
Luca's a baller.
Level is real high.
He's a baller.
Top 10 player right now in the league right now.
Yeah, he's a baller.
All right.
Wait, would you say he's a what player?
He's the top 10 player in the league right now.
Oh yeah.
Do the math.
You got to think.
Yes.
Y'all trying to go to a whole
Yeah, I
nother
gotta
pot.
think.
Be not.
All right, let's do this because we're gonna wrap up. We're gonna wrap up real fast, but
No, we ain't wrapping up nothing. How much
Yo,
time?
we going
Go
all
through the
night,
10.
yo.
Go through your top 10.
People
All right.
ask for this.
Go through your top 10.
all right, I'm gonna go. Let me give you my top 10. Everybody give here's my top 10.
I'll go ahead.
You got Steph.
No, we out.
No, thank you. Go
guys-
ahead. Go ahead.
In no order, right? In no order.
It's completely because Steph would never be number one. But
Steph ain't even playing right now, man. Stop. Talk
KD,
about dudes that's playing.
KD.
No, we ain't talking about
All
Steph.
right,
He's
let
still
me
top
get
10.
my 10 out. Everybody get that 10 out.
Go ahead,
KD,
Steph, KD.
LeBron.
The first two niggas he named ain't playing ball.
Harden.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take Westbrook.
Westbrook's not a top 10 player.
I'm gonna take.
This is
I'm gonna take him over.
Go ahead, Tim. Go ahead.
All right.
AD, you got AD.
I'm about to tune. I'm about to
AD.
tune out. Y'all tell me who Tim picked afterwards.
All right.
What about the bull in Portland?
I got AD.
Mm-hmm.
That's 6.
Dame?
Dame Dollar, but without question, that's 7.
Dame Dollar.
Give me some more names.
What about are you taking Klay Thompson?
I'm definitely taking Clay.
He's not top 10.
I'm taking
top
Clay
10.
over Luca.
He's not top 10. Luca's in there.
Clay's my dude.
This is his top 10. Let him.
That's
pick
my. You gonna have your 10.
and we can see how dumb Tim is.
Kawhi Leonard.
Oh my God! See, they Ephraim, you hooking me up. Kawhi.
Paul George. You taking Paul George or Luka?
No, he's not.
I'm not taking Paul George, but
Playoff
I'm taking Kyrie.
Hold on.
I got Kyrie, and I got Giannis. That's 11 right there.
That's Giannis.
Giannis.
Kyrie ain't even in the playoffs.
No.
I'm gonna take that's 11 right there. So I got 11 guys over.
Hold up. Y'all ain't gonna hate on playoff P because playoff P. Let's keep it real.
Playoff P is a fraud.
Playoff P had like 2-3 bad games, and y'all trying to completely dismiss playoff P.
Yo,
I'm
do you
still
know
taking playoff P over
Wait,
Luka.
let me ask you
Luka
something.
ain't proven up to me yet.
Wasn't playoff P on OKC and they lost?
That's he went against Dame and Dame bye them boys, but that was different though.
Dame not by them. Dame's
Dame
not
is
playing either. This Portland game over tonight. Dame ain't playing either.
Oh, Dame ain't playing? But
No,
y'all,
he left the bubble.
listen.
left the bubble.
He left the bubble.
Yeah.
Oh, the
He
series
left the
over.
bubble.
Let me
Go
check.
ahead, Ephraim.
Let me
Go
hold
ahead.
on. Let me check.
Tell
They're
me.
gonna eat the facts again.
Yeah, you're right.
Keep it back.
You're right. Hold
Check
on.
Ethan.
Hold on.
Check that ninja.
Yeah, we gotta check Ethan.
All right, but look, on some real,
Damian.
I don't know. I don't know if I could give Luka top 10 right now. He got to do it. He a baller, but he got to. You got boys who put in
Bruh,
work.
I'm not putting Klay Thompson over Luka Doncic.
All right, but even if you take Klay out of there, you still name 10 that you will argue with them 10.
Who the 10? Who the 10?
He said, all right, Kawhi. The first 5 is obvious.
Real quick.
You got LeBron.
Damian left the bubble.
He did.
He did.
Yeah,
Yes,
he's headed
sir.
to Portland to get his knee examined.
Hold up.
Because they and this is a point that I was no matter of fact.
Don't hate on Dame. Don't hate on Dame.
It's not necessarily a hate on Dame, but it's a lot of people that hate on Westbrook and talking about. I'm not Westbrook. They hate on Harden and talking about how he's a choke and he this, that, and other. But they love Dame Lillard. Dame Lillard carried the team for a couple weeks in the bubble. They like, Dame, he's tired now. Dame did all this to bring Westbrook be averaging 30-some points a season.
You mean
But his
Harden?
squad. What's that?
Harden.
Yeah, Harden. My fault. Shut up, man. Y'all know who I was talking about. You know how to spell it.
I think it's more of how Harden plays the game. I think we talked about this already.
I hate the way Harden plays basketball.
How Harden
Don't
plays
matter.
for
He's
fouls.
effective.
Let me go on record.
Okay, and guess what? Boys hate that Brian do the flopping and stuff like that, but it's effective.
It's flopping the way Harden.
Go ahead and defend the flopping.
No. Let me go on record. This
Brian.
and I don't want to seem like I'm hating on Harden, but I hate the way. I'm sorry. Let me say it. I hate ways. Not everything he does. Certain ways he plays the game, I can't stand. He was the first dude to start doing consistently that swipe through to draw the foul all the time.
And
That's smart. That's smart if you using the rules to your advantage.
It is smart, but it's a little nutty.
Listen, first of all, I don't want to hear because you love Steph Curry, and Steph Curry always shooting to some, always flopping around after he shoot, trying to get an and one call on the three.
Yeah, he
like
like a dead fish. Like a dead fish out there.
He do that every now and then. Harden goes to the line. Harden at one point in the beginning of this year was averaging 15 trips to the line for a guard. That's unheard of. I hate Harden. I hate him.
Guess what? And your man and my man, my favorite player of all time, Allen Iverson, got a lot of his from the line.
Yeah, 9 or 10.
So you go ahead and you hate on Harden.
But AI wasn't flopping like that. He was legitimately going to the whole hard and getting beat on.
AI's my favorite player all time, and he did. But that's what you got it. You embellish.
AI, you saying AI flop?
He used to flop.
Talking crazy talk. Tim,
AI would throw his body.
It wasn't even flopping back then.
Get this fool out the podcast.
Turn the screen off.
Out with him.
When your mic's off. Tim, turn his mic.
I'm trying to turn it back on.
You can't handle the truth. You can't handle. No,
you're being disrespectful.
What we're not
going to do is we have people disrespecting people.
Thank you.
You were trying to disrespect the boy AI, and that was
I disrespect the legend, Bubba Chuck.
This the Philly podcast. You ain't gonna disrespect AI.
Yeah,
I'm not going to disrespect AI. I just say he's my favorite player of all time. But my point that I'm making is, sometimes as a player, that's just like even with Mike. Mike knew they was giving him the and one calls on the fadeaways and post, so he used it. That's what the great players do. That's like Bron when he do the flopping and stuff. Like, come on, boys ain't knocking Bron off like that, like knocking him over like that. But Bron using what the league do. If this is the rules of the league, I'm going to use it for my advantage.
But Bron, to me, Bron was a little different. Bron was kind of like Shaq. No, I'm gonna tell you why. Because remember, Shaq at one point started exaggerating fouls because he would never get them. He was so big, the referees expect him to play through it. That's the same mindset they have with LeBron a lot of times. He's so big, play through it. So he started exaggerating contact to get the foul.
But that's my point with Harden. A dude like Harden, whereas though he could still get a shot off, that even though he make a good move and the ball fouling, but it's like
Harden do a lot of every time. Listen, if somebody swipe near Harden, that's all you see.
Yes.
Bron is known for flopping.
He perfected how to throw his head back and lay the ball up at the same time. I never seen nothing like that.
It's the beard.
Body Bebop. He's the dead fish. Bron is the new body Bebop.
No, I agree with you.
Harden perfected it, dog. Harden perfected it. Yeah. He even shoots three. How's he doing? Like somebody hit him in the face. He just crazy, man.
Bron do the same.
It's crazy.
That's all I'm saying is. And listen, I'm not making like Harden ain't my favorite player, whatever. I'm just trying to keep it real. If you're gonna rip Harden for all that stuff, then rip the other dudes for that stuff too. Rip Dame for getting swept by by the Pelicans, where Drew Holiday outplayed them. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real with it. You know what I'm saying? People want to talk about Harden and everything else.
I think Dame was going through some family issues.
Harden.
I think Dame was going through some family and some personal issues. That's why he got swept by the Pelicans. But we're not going to talk about we're not going to talk about that. But no, listen. I mean, the fact of the matter is, let's go. But I don't think nobody's taking Harden out of the top 10. I think we putting Dame in the top 10. I'm finding hard.
We about to get into a whole nother podcast.
I know. Hey,
listen, if we got to break the man, listen, the people wanted this. They've been asking for this.
We're gonna come back.
We gotta go
back in a couple of days, and maybe that's another thing that we could talk about.
We giving it to the people. They asked for
it. Give the people what they want.
All right, before we get out of here,
I ain't going nowhere. I'm still over here. Don't listen to me.
Let's give a special shout out, rest in peace to the boy Chadwick Boseman, man. Nice shirt, Wayne. And we lost a great one of the Cliff Robinson, man. He was the first boy I saw with a headband as a young boy playing in the NBA, man.
Portland hurt my heart when they lost to the Bulls that year.
Thank you. That's what I think. That was exactly what I think. I think he was a rookie.
Also, the great.
He was a rookie that year too, Ethan.
Lou Olson, the great coach. You know
yeah, Lou Olson, Arizona.
Yeah. I mean, just think of the people that we lost it to. People forget we lost Tavares Jackson this year too. Remember?
We lost Kobe this year, and I'm not the biggest Kobe fan.
Oh yeah, that's another podcast too right now. The great
2000 is whack, man. 2020 is whack.
it is.
Suspect.
It
So,
is.
all right, thanks to everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, we
Um,
leaving? I got more to say.
If you see this on YouTube,
People want
Keep
this.
it bottled up. Keep it
like
bottled
the
up.
video,
We need that energy.
subscribe, and we'll catch y'all. And don't forget to hit the notification button so y'all can catch us anytime we on.
Was it share? What they say? Share, like, subscribe.
Yeah, share, like, and subscribe. Thanks for coming.
Real talk, share, like, subscribe, and leave comments. If you know what I'm saying, if y'all see, because I know certain people that I know, like they'll hit me up in the
Wait, you still recording?
but leave comments.